support the truth. Don't look away.
He thought he was invisible, but one email proved he wasn't. Bangkok, July 2017. In the humid silence of a tropical night, a convoy of unmarked black SUVs crept down a quiet street in Ratchathaphisek. Headlights glowed against the white facade of a luxury villa inside. A young man sat in a bathtub, laptop open, Bitcoin wallet unlocked. Outside, Thai police and FBI agents waited for the signal. Target online. Confirm identity. The voice cracked through the radio. Within 60 seconds, glass shattered. A SWAT team stormed in, tackling the naked man before he could close his laptop. Under the cold LED lights, the screen displayed a single name, Alexandre Cazes, alias Alpha-02. On his hard drives lay the blueprint of the largest digital black market ever built, AlphaBay, a dark web empire, trafficking in drugs, weapons, stolen credit cards, fake passports, and malicious software, pulling in over $600,000 a day. Across the world, in that same moment, coordinated raids struck 12 servers across 4 continents under a classified mission called Operation Bayonet. Beside the bathtub lay a white envelope, unsealed, its return address printed in blue, pimplex_alex91@hotmail.com. That single childish email had undone everything he built. As thunder rolled over Bangkok, Alexandre Cazes lowered his head. The master of encryption had nowhere left to hide. How could one careless email destroy a billion-dollar criminal empire? Long before the villa, the Lamborghinis, and the encrypted servers spread across 12 countries, there was just a quiet boy from Montreal, a kid who loved computers more than people. Born in 1991, Alexandre Cazes showed unusual curiosity for coding before he turned 10. While other kids were learning to ride bikes, he was teaching himself how to build websites and reverse engineer basic programs. Teachers called him polite, introverted, the kind of student who disappears into his own world. By 17, he had already mastered PHP, Python, and network security. The internet became both his playground and his identity. Online, he wasn't shy, he was powerful. Using screen names like Alpha-02, he joined underground hacking forums, trading exploits, and discussing how to stay invisible in a system built to watch everyone. He was fascinated not by chaos, but by control, the feeling of bending a digital world to his will. After high school, Cazes worked briefly as a web developer, but the routine of small contracts and corporate coding bored him. He wanted freedom and money. Around 2013, as Silk Road dominated headlines and its creator Ross Ulbricht was arrested by the FBI, Cazes saw an opportunity: build something bigger, smarter, and safer. He envisioned a Silk Road 2 that couldn't be traced, a platform where buyers and sellers could trade anonymously using cryptocurrencies, layered encryption, and hidden servers routed through Tor. He called it AlphaBay. At first, it was small, a handful of listings for marijuana, counterfeit IDs, and stolen credit cards. But word spread fast. Cazes' obsession with flawless design made AlphaBay slicker and faster than any rival market. His tone was confident yet charming, often signing admin messages as, "Your friendly Alpha-02." Soon, AlphaBay became the Amazon of the dark web. Thousands of vendors joined. Millions of dollars flowed daily through Monero and Bitcoin. Cazes, operating mostly from Thailand, built a fortress of secrecy. Encrypted servers in the Netherlands, cloud backups disguised as photography websites, and offshore shell companies registered under aliases. Behind the keyboard, he wasn't Alexandre anymore, he was a ghost in the network. To his users, Alpha-02 was untouchable. No face, no trace, no weakness. But outside the screen, his other self began to surface, the one who liked fast cars, fine whiskey, and the thrill of being the invisible billionaire among mortals. Neighbors in Bangkok recalled a young man who smiled easily, always dressed in linen, who never seemed to work, yet lived like royalty. He drove a Porsche Panamera and a Lamborghini Aventador, hosted rooftop parties, and bought penthouses under fake names. He told friends he was an IT consultant, and few asked questions. Yet in every story of invincibility, there's always a crack. For Cazes, it wasn't greed or drugs, it was pride, the quiet, dangerous belief that he was smarter than everyone else. The fall of AlphaBay began, not with a sophisticated cyber exploit, but with a single, human mistake. For months, cyber units across the United States and Europe had watched AlphaBay grow at an unstoppable pace. Every morning, new listings appeared: fentanyl, Glock pistols, zero-day exploits, counterfeit passports. Each one paid in cryptocurrency, routed through mixers and tumblers that made tracing nearly impossible. But buried deep in one of AlphaBay's welcome emails, investigators found something unusual: an administrative message signed by Alpha02 that included a recovery address, pimplex_alex91@hotmail.com. It was careless, almost childish, and it became the thread that unraveled everything. Using subpoenas and cooperation from Microsoft, agents traced the Hotmail registration back to Alexandre Cazes, a Canadian web developer living in Thailand. Cross-referencing IP logs, Bitcoin transactions, and forum timestamps, they began to build a digital fingerprint, one that matched Cazes's travel patterns, his luxury purchases, and even his personal blog where he once bragged about the art of staying anonymous. In 2016, the FBI and DEA launched Operation Bayonet, a multinational task force involving Europol, the Dutch high-tech crime unit, and the Royal Thai Police. For nearly a year, undercover agents posed as vendors, moving through AlphaBay's encrypted chat rooms, collecting screenshots, wallet addresses, and server metadata. Meanwhile, the Dutch team had secretly infiltrated Hansa Market, another dark web bazaar. They ran it quietly, recording every user migration, waiting for the day AlphaBay would fall so that fleeing vendors would log in straight to a trap. On the 5th of July 2017, after weeks of surveillance, Thai officers surrounded Cazes's villa in Bangkok. Inside, he was logged into the AlphaBay admin panel, a rare moment of vulnerability. Agents stormed in and seized his laptop still unlocked, preserving encryption keys, passwords, and admin credentials. That 60-second window was all they needed. Simultaneously, coordinated raids hit servers in Canada, the Netherlands, and Lithuania. Within hours, AlphaBay was offline. Across Reddit and Darknet forums, panic erupted. Vendors accused each other of snitching. Buyers rushed to withdraw funds that no longer existed. The empire had collapsed overnight. Forensic analysts recovered millions in Bitcoin and Monero, source codes for custom escrow systems, and detailed vendor ledgers. The evidence pointed to Cazes as the sole architect. When agents entered his Bangkok garage, they found symbols of his dual life: a Lamborghini Aventador, Porsche Panamera, and Rolex collection, all purchased with crypto from his users' pain. By mid-July, AlphaBay's fall was complete. But the story wasn't over, because just 1 week after his arrest, the man who built an invisible kingdom was found lifeless in his cell, before any court could ask him a single question. There was never a real trial for Alexandre Cazes, at least, not in the traditional sense. When the world learned that the mastermind behind AlphaBay had died in a Bangkok jail cell on the 12th of July 2017, the prosecution was forced to build its case without a defendant. Still, what emerged from the evidence painted a portrait of a young man who had engineered the largest online criminal marketplace in history, and then watched it collapse under the weight of his own hubris. The U.S. indictment, unsealed in the Eastern District of California case, number 117, CR 00144LJO, charged Cazes with racketeering conspiracy to distribute narcotics, conspiracy to commit identity theft, conspiracy to launder money. Court documents detailed that AlphaBay processed over 250,000 listings for illegal drugs and 100,000 listings for stolen data and weapons, dwarfing Silk Road's scale. Prosecutors described it as an underground Amazon for everything illegal. High authorities confirmed Cazes' arrest came after a U.S. extradition request. In the early hours of July 12, he was found hanged in his detention cell, the orange towel from his jail uniform twisted around the bars. Thai police called it a suicide. Conspiracy theories soon flooded forums, claiming he'd been silenced. The Department of Justice and FBI held a joint press conference 8 days later. The message was clear: AlphaBay was gone. They displayed photographs of seized assets, luxury cars, gold bars, and hardware wallets containing millions in Bitcoin. Acting FBI Director Andrew McCabe stated, "This was a worldwide criminal infrastructure. We've cut off its head. With Cazes deceased, U.S. prosecutors formally dismissed the charges post-mortem, but the investigation didn't end. In 2020, Brian Connor Harrell, one of AlphaBay's moderators, pleaded guilty to racketeering and was sentenced to 11 years in federal prison, a symbolic verdict closing the circle Cazes had started. No jury ever read a sentence for Alexandre Cazes. No gavel ever struck his name. His empire vanished not with a courtroom verdict, but with a single, irreversible silence in a Thai cell. When AlphaBay fell, the dark web shuddered. Thousands of vendors woke up to find their wallets empty, their accounts seized, and their digital kingdoms erased overnight. In chat rooms once thriving with trade and coded chatter, there was only silence and fear. For years, AlphaBay had been more than a marketplace. It was an ecosystem, a shadow economy built on anonymity and trust. Its sudden death sent a message across the underworld. No one is untouchable. The takedown became a defining moment in cyber law enforcement. For the first time, agencies from 6 countries, including the FBI, DEA, Europol, the Dutch police, and the Royal Thai Police worked as one synchronized network, mirroring the very global web they sought to dismantle. Operation Bayonet proved that even in the deepest layers of the internet, cooperation could break isolation. But victory came with paradox. Within weeks, dozens of smaller markets appeared, each promising stronger encryption and new ways to resist infiltration. AlphaBay's ashes gave birth to a new generation of decentralized Darknet platforms. Ironically, its fall accelerated innovation, the endless duel between surveillance and secrecy. For law enforcement, AlphaBay became a training manual for the next war online. Its data troves exposed supply chains of fentanyl and synthetic drugs, linking Darknet orders to real-world overdoses. Families who had lost sons and daughters to those poisons suddenly had a name, AlphaBay, to blame. The DOJ cited the case as proof that cybercrime and street crime were no longer separate worlds. They were mirrors. Years later, in 2021, AlphaBay's co-founder Desnake briefly re-emerged on forums, claiming to rebuild the empire with better security and moral purpose. Few believed him. For most, AlphaBay remained a ghost, a cautionary myth whispered in every hacker circle, the one that flew too close to the Darknet sun. In the end, the tragedy of Alexandre Cazes wasn't just the empire he lost, but the life he never lived. A brilliant mind turned outlaw, a digital Prometheus chained by his own creation. His fall reminded the world that even in cyberspace where identity can vanish with a click, pride still leaves a trace.